Finally, after all these months, all the rumors, events that never happened, listening parties, one of which I went to, and delays. So many damn delays. We finally have Vultures, the latest collab album from Ye and Ty Dolla $ign. Back when that one article first came out around late September or October of last year, I thought a whole album with Ty is kinda crazy, but I'm intrigued. I like Ty Dolla $ign. He's one of those artists that are known for their features, and he's an amazing feature artist. In terms of past work with Kanye, there isn't a single song they've done that I haven't liked, and Real Friends is one of my favorite songs off The Life of Pablo, with the big reason being Ty's feature. Ty was also one of the people left in Kanye's corner after his endeavors in 2022, and had even endorsed his candidacy in 2020, something his own wife hadn't even done. So to me, the move made sense, but I was just interested in the execution. The two of them spent time in Italy, I think sometime in Japan, Dubai, and snippets would come out here and there, but things finally got set into motion around December. We had a listening party in Miami that I was a little underwhelmed by, but I'm always happy to see stuff from Ye and hear new music. We also had a listening party in Vegas that I did not see because it was at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and a boy needs his sleep, okay? But I woke up to a video of Kanye and Kid Cudi hugging, multiple videos of them working on music somewhere, and the news that the listening party had been cut short because the event was shut down by the police. I love seeing behind the scenes on pretty much anything because the creative process is simply amazing, so having this and catching a small glimpse into the making of these tracks is really cool to have. But after that, the album never came out. The release date got pushed back a couple more times, but Kanye gets a little more active on Instagram, posts here and there, mostly pictures of his wife, and boom. Not only do we get a new release date for Vultures, but it has now become a 3-volume trilogy of albums. North's song Talking gets released as a single, and a new listening party gets announced in Chicago. Another one gets announced in New York, and that's the one I went to. I actually got to see Kanye for the first time in my life. I didn't record much because I didn't have the craziest view in the world, but I also just wanted to chill and really experience everything. I did almost start tearing up because it was slowly creeping up on the time of curfew for the venue, and Kanye still hadn't come out yet because he was posting fit pics instead, but thankfully he did come out, and it was a good time. Hearing some of these songs in an arena with multiple people singing the lyrics already was just an experience. Having Playboy Cardi come out to Hood by Air, top notch. Amazing moment, and that was probably my favorite part of the night. I also can't describe the feeling of waking up to the album actually being out the next morning. So let's get into my actual thoughts on the album. I'm gonna go track by track with my brief initial thoughts on everything. Stars was a nice, mellow intro with a good sample and a simple performance from Ye and Ty.
Keep a futures on the staff now.
Perfectly encapsulates Kanye as a human being. Keys to My Life was actually the song I liked the least for a little while because it was just something about Kanye's flow on it. Maybe I heard a snippet and I wasn't really paying attention to it, but this song has grown on me a lot. I think part of that was hearing it live. One of my top songs on the whole project, and Ty's chorus on this is stuck in my head. Paid is okay. It's a nice house track. It's made for the club. It's one of those songs that Ty has his fingerprints on the most. The Elmo feature threw me off. Just don't like how repetitive it gets. Talking. When this song came on at the Miami rave, I just started smiling so much. I love the beat. James Blake's sample really takes the cake. North versus Adonis hit for hit. North is unfortunately winning. The new back half with the Once Again segment is also a great addition. And all in all, this song just feels like a great interlude for the rest of the album. The conflict is strong with this one. Unfortunately, I do think Back to Me is one of my least favorite tracks. Based on that snippet we got in this video from like November, I was ready for this to be my favorite, but no, Kanye ruined it. I can only hear so many
Beautiful big titty, but naked women just don't fall like the sky, you know.
before staring into the void, wondering why this couldn't be one of the songs he took more seriously. I was expecting a high tier burn. Yeah, I know we're not up to that song yet, but burn level verse from Kanye on this. The beat is heavenly. Ty and Freddie were amazing though. Hood Rat surprisingly became one of my favorites off the album. I thought I was gonna hate it based on the snippet I heard and the sample just being on repeat over and over again, but it works for me. I enjoy how the sample becomes a kind of siren in the background, and I just love Kanye and Ty's performances on this one. A lot of people hate it though, like everyone I see on Twitter, but it's my gem, and I'll cherish it. do it. Similarly to Paid, it is another Ty forward track that basically sounds like what he usually does. Another club-like song. I will say when I first heard it, I didn't really care for it. I thought a YG verse in Big 2024 was a little crazy, but he did good, and I appreciated the new addition of the sample flip that wasn't there before. That elevated the song a lot. Paperwork. I have such a funny story for this one. I'm on Twitter a lot, and I remember finding this tweet that was basically like, oh, FL Studio is just naturally louder in Brazil. Something like that. With a clip of some Brazilian funk. The song was loud, but I bookmarked it because I was like, yo, this goes hard. I hear the beat start up. I'm like, I know that ain't who I think it is. Then the beat drops, and I just start feeling that. Boom, 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 boom. Then I recognize the sample. I'm like, wait a second, I've heard this before. This is another gem of mine. I love this song, just like Hood Rap. It is one of my personal favorites. Again, a fair amount of people don't like this song. I love it. I love the structure of it, the sample, everyone's performances. I don't hate a single part about this song. Fuck Song, also a great song, man. However, they ruined it badly. I am a firm believer in Quavo's supremacy, and the fact that his verse was cut off this song is a crime. So I am going to play a short segment of it for you because it's necessary.
Shit, I'm trying to fuck some right now, split this little G6. Shit, she said love me, she just wanna suck my dick. Shit, pick that bread, treat it like sexy red. Shit, throw that little shit back, showing you ain't scared. Fuck her like a porn star in a car.
Instead of that masterclass, we got Alvin Seville as a feature. AKA another Kanye performance where I wish he took it a bit more seriously. Also, Kanye, I don't want to hear about you asking to get sucked publicly. Yes, I know it's a reference to the whole Italy thing on the boat. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. They also added Travis Scott to the song. Was it a feature I was fiending for? No, not really. Cardi was also good too. I'll talk about him more in a bit. Vultures, I don't have much to say about this song. I don't really care for this song. It's the lead single. It's been out since like October. I was worried about Dirk's verse getting scrapped because there was a version of it that didn't have his verse on it that got released, but luckily they kept his verse. It's the best part of the song. Also, that outro with Ty is pretty good. I don't know why Kanye loves this song so much. It's really just okay. Next up. Carnival. Oh boy. One of the things I did see from the Vegas listening party was their first time playing this song. And when I tell you that was one of the worst things I had ever heard, it had me stressed. Rich the Kid, in even bigger 2024, might have been worse than YG. He was offbeat. The song in general sounded empty, and the placement of the Iron Man sample was a little awkward. They took this song and bossed it up to the max. Playboy Cardi, I want to hate you because of this whole mysterious persona that you've made everyone start adopting. You're stealing money from streamers, making 2-minute appearances on their streams when you agreed to doing a whole stream with them. You owe us an album. You've been on a run. Don't get me wrong, including this song. Drop the album! Anyway, you killed it on this song, and you're basically the biggest reason why it's as big as it is, because once again, it's a song where Kanye's contribution is pretty weak. The verse has grown on me personally, but it's not anywhere near Kanye's best when it comes to rapping. Cardi stole the show.
I'm at the buy some dentures, made the whole eat me for dinner. What? Pain, all in my eyes, I can't see.
Beg Forgiveness. Back when this song was first played at the Miami Rave and it was just Chris Brown's vocals, I felt like this was kinda an IOU from Kanye after cutting his feature from New Again off of Donda. Another crime, by the way. Give my life to gain your blessings. Trade my pain for all the pleasure. Let your peace sustain my mental. But just like Carnival, this song went through a pretty considerable transformation, with that last segment where Ty is just singing his heart out in a kind of ballad, which is the best part of it, hands down, and probably my favorite vocal performance from Ty across the whole album. Good, Don't Die. This was another one that I didn't really care for, if I'm being honest with you. Not the most lyrical, not the craziest sounding. I've heard some describe it as an 808s kind of track. I can see where that comes from, but I get that vibe more from tracks like Stars or Keys to My Life. This is a very catchy song though, so I'll give it that. Also gonna talk about it getting deleted later on. Problematic. Another one that I really hadn't cared for, but has grown to be one of my favorites on the album. This was the track that I thought more of this album was going to be about, tackling the controversy, the reception of him by the public, and overall just Kanye rapping. This song has one of my favorite performances from him on this project because he was just getting his bars off. The samples threw me off initially because of the rhythm of them all, but after adjusting, this makes for a song that feels really solid to me, and the So Appalled callback is simply everything. Finally, we have King, the chaotic, harsh-sounding outro to this first installment of Vultures. Another one that extremely grew on me. The Ozzy Osbourne sample in the background just hits. I like Kanye's performance on this one too. It's really catchy, and this is one that will definitely get stuck in your head if you listen to it enough. Crazy, bipolar, anti-Semite. It's an interesting lead for the chorus, but it works. This is him addressing all the titles he's been giving over the years, with the most recent being the most controversial, and yet he still finds himself on the top. For some very odd reason, my very brilliant self forgot to record the part where I talk about Burn, so let's get that out of the way. Burn. I still remember when this song leaked about a month before the album dropped, and I was amazed. This was doing triple doubles in the local files on Spotify. An OG Kanye sounding track on Vultures is exactly what I needed, and I kind of wish the whole album was more like this. I also wish this song was longer, but it is genuinely great. As a whole, I think Vultures is a cool, solid product, but you didn't think this video was really going to be all good, right? Come on now, there's no fun in that. There's a part of me that hates this album and another that loves it. It doesn't blow me away, and yet I can't stop listening to it. This is not Kanye's worst, but definitely not his best either.
It's paradoxical, and yet it works.
Going into this one of my biggest questions was, what is the narrative of Vultures going to be? And honestly, there really isn't one. This is a best moments sort of compilation album with some immaculate production to really save it. I'm not the biggest fan of the order of this track list or these songs in particular being batched together. Personally, if I'm being really harsh, I could give this album a 6, 6.5, and lean toward a 7 if I'm really being gracious. I don't think it's better than Donda, and if we're talking about his other collabs, this is not better than Kid See Ghost or Watch the Throne, but it is a whole lot better than what I thought it was shaping up to be. There were multiple instances where Kanye was the worst part of a lot of these songs, which could be frustrating. This album has some of his worst rapping at times, and I think there could have been a little more heart put into this whole thing. I was hoping for there to be some more sincerity where there would have been more tracks like Problematic or Keys to My Life, but it gets sidelined by having songs like Carnival, even though I love it, or Do It, being on the album. Generally, Ty did his fair share of heavy lifting because his vocals were the one constant, and I was truly thankful for that. There was a point where I was kind of feeling bad for him with the album getting delayed so many times, but then I said, wait, if we know Kanye, and he definitely knows Kanye, he knew what he signed up for. But thankfully, he doesn't have to worry about it anymore because he has 2 more volumes to worry about instead. This album is a landmark project for a number of different reasons. Like I alluded to in being a Kanye fan, Kanye entered a self-exile like he did leading up to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy back in the day, but this time, this was arguably something that he wouldn't be able to come back from. And yet Vultures was able to go #1 in its first week. Carnival has ended up being the biggest song off the project in a similar way to Off the Grid, and has gone nuclear on TikTok and really the whole internet. And this was able to be done independently, not backed by a label whatsoever, which I'm sure is going to be a landmark for the music industry, despite what spurred this being the case anyway. The outpouring of support has really been crazy to witness. A little too crazy. I've been meaning to talk about this for a minute, but now is the perfect time. Some of you are crazy. Some of those comments on my first Kanye video, yeesh, I could spend too much time speaking on them. It is okay to criticize the things you enjoy. I am a huge advocate for it, and do it pretty often. Wink wink, like and subscribe by the way. Something I didn't think I'd find myself doing in this video is defending a review from Anthony Fantano. And that isn't to say I don't like him. I've watched him here and there when I want to hear another opinion. I think he's an entertaining guy. But the witch hunt has been crazy. I've known that he isn't the biggest fan of Kanye, and that's understandable. Not only is music subjective, but Kanye's abrasive personality and unbelievably large ego can turn some people away. Seeing the title of Fantano's review made me laugh at first because I was like, wow, that's crazy. But seeing the outrage has also been kinda hilarious. There have been all these debates of his hypocrisy and inherent bias against Kanye, making his review invalid and wrong. People have just been livid. It is okay. Subjectivity is what makes life interesting, and imagine how boring it would be if everyone thought the same way as you, even though some of those opinions are damn near objectively terrible. I saw someone say Vultures was better than Late Registration. What? Blasphemy. It's especially funny coming from Kanye fans because he is such a figure of polarization and going against the current, which makes all of this incredibly ironic. If you like the album, listen to the album. If you don't, or just don't like Kanye, no one's forcing you to listen. I hope. That would be kind of messed up. Anyway, what made being at the New York listening party even more interesting was being surrounded by all these fans of Kanye. I was in there like, none of them know I made being a Kanye fan, but it was just some of the most interesting people watching that I've gotten to do. Whether it was someone rocking a Ye 2024 shirt or a family there for an outing together, which was kind of crazy, or even myself. Everyone was there for the same reason. It's also been interesting to see how little people have cared about 2022 Kanye throughout this whole rollout. This discussion of separating art from the artist has also been tearing up the internet too, but like Fantano said, and I agree with, not really possible here. Not only because there are a few times where Kanye addresses his anti-Semitism, but because you need the artist for the art, their perspectives, their story, their experiences, because there wouldn't be the art without it. Despite that, Kanye is definitely still an extremely chaotic, flawed being. When he posted that apology written in Hebrew on Instagram, which isn't even up anymore by the way, I did not feel like he meant it at all. And to be fair, he probably didn't. Back at that Miami listening party, when I blinked and saw him take out that Klan hood, I let out the biggest groan of my life. And I know once again, someone's gonna be like, black skinhead, it's a Then in Vegas, he went on another rant, touching on a whole bunch of topics, but hearing the line,
Jesus Christ, Hitler, yay!
Kinda made me tune out of what he was saying completely. The name Vultures itself has so much irony in the sense that 1, in Vegas, that's pretty much all he was surrounded by. A bunch of vultures who just want to be in it for the ride and fame, but also 2, Kanye himself at this point is a vulture, picking at the scraps and pieces of his career that he has left over at this point. Another thing this man is gonna have to worry about is whether or not he can even release some of these songs. Everybody, the most played unreleased song ever, was supposed to be on this volume, but didn't make the cut because of a very obvious sample clearance issue, but I assure you, they're gonna play this song any chance they can get. Carnival also ran the possibility of getting sniped because Ozzy Osbourne did not approve the usage of the Iron Man sample, but Kanye did one of the most innovative things of all time and sampled Hell of a Life, which interpolates the song already. This man is really a genius when he wants to be. And then Don't Die also just keeps getting removed from streaming, which is also most likely at the hands of sampling/interpolation issues of a Donna Summer song. And there's also supposed to be an interview that might be out when this drops. Very scared of that. Hoping it isn't too crazy, but we also don't know how old it is, and it's a Kanye interview. He hasn't had the best track record with those in the last 2 years. Am I gonna check out Vultures 2 and 3? Most likely. Kanye still owes me River with Young Thug and that Diablo Take Off Your Dress song. Am I gonna talk about Kanye again? It's something I've thought about pretty often because I don't want to be known as the Kanye guy and I'm already trying to beat the music channel allegations, so that's tricky. I love music a lot, but I don't want my channel to be dedicated to it. Someone literally posted this comment on my Better Call Saul video. Watch that, by the way. I thought it was pretty good. So with that, it's looking tough already. There's already multiple Kanye content farms, so what would be the point of me contributing? I am a Kanye fan, even if some of you don't believe that because I criticize him and don't view him as my Lord and Savior. I just want to see my GOAT do better and leave behind all the neo-Nazi adjacent stuff. I really hope Vultures 2 is a lot better than this one, and Volume 3 intrigues me a lot because I don't know what could possibly be on that one. I think I'm still gonna drop my Kanye album ranking video, so be on the lookout for that eventually. Thank you as always for watching, take care of yourselves, and have a good one. And just let me get my merch, bro, please.